I'm honestly of the opinion that licensed games have really come a long way in recent years. I mean, yeah, I think we can just ignore that and move along. Koei Tecmo and Megaforce are once again trying their hand at applying their Muso formula to another license. Unlike previous games like One Piece and Fist of the North Star, as well as the upcoming Berserk game, you won't be hacking and slashing through millions of goons.
If you just continue to press the same button like X, 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 and Y, 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 and X, X, and Y, Y, Y again, you'll be sucked. Right?
The gameplay, as you can see, is very different, mimicking the anime and manga's high-flying hacking and slashing. Attack on Titan Wings of Freedom, also known as A.O.T. Wings of Freedom, thanks Europe, does a great job resembling the anime. The bright and colourful character models with very defined black outlines do a good job portraying some of our favourite characters, and of course a bunch of dead people. The Titans look as disturbing and unsettling as ever, with their ill-proportioned bodies and unsettling expressions, although I must say some of the threat is diminished slightly when they get stuck on the geometry. But hey, that's not their fault. Cutscenes range from amazing looking pre-rendered cutscenes to cutscenes using the in-game models and in-game engine. The latter look rather lazy, and they hardly even anime at all. As I said, the models do look great, but the lacking in emotion really comes across as cheap and not faithful to the source material. It's certainly better than what I had expected, which would have been models standing there with text boxes, but it's still rather disappointing. For example, look at Connie, just standing there in the background. When something dramatic happens, all he can really muster to show any kind of emotion is moving his arms slightly. The main menu that you are greeted with on startup is fantastic, great looking art capturing important moments in the anime. The use of motion blur while zipping around in your omnidirectional maneuver gear gives you a great sense of speed, more on that later of course. The environments, while impressive looking, capturing the kinds of environments you would often see in the anime, do tend to repeat a lot and can eventually get tiresome. Get used to seeing European looking town, open fields, forests, and ruined European looking town. This however is not the fault of the game, as it is faithful to the source material. Something positive about the environments though are little touches of detail, like destructible environment. Pretty much every building can be destroyed by the enemies and will be used to their advantage. Also, individual blades of grass. You often don't get to see a lot of detail like this in a lot of Japanese titles, so it's quite nice they put the effort in this time around. Now please bear in mind that this is all regarding the PlayStation 4 version, so consider that while I talk about the performance and overall graphical fidelity. While not unplayable, the highest the frame rate will go is around 40 FPS. But when the screen gets really busy, with titans jumping around and smoke everywhere, the frame rate can drop to a crawl. Then you have moments like this. Titans will often get stuck in the terrain, and it can be a bit of an immersion breaker. Now if you don't mind your immersion being annihilated, it can actually ruin the flow of gameplay. Titans getting stuck behind objects, breaking your line, Titans sinking into the ground, and just silly collision bugs, which as of this recording have yet to be fixed. Now while the music isn't the same as the amazing soundtrack in the show, it does sound like the kind of music that you'd often hear in the show. Really, it is a shame they couldn't at least get any of the openings. Now despite all the criticism, this is the part of the game that I find most enjoyable and incredibly addictive. The way the average mission is structured is you'll be thrown into an arena filled with titans. Dispatching titans will add to your final score that you get at the end of the mission, and dismembering titans will gain you materials that you can use for crafting for better gear, as well as other things such as collectible titan figures. Combat involves you targeting titans, putting you into a battle mode where you circle around the colossal enemy. You can move the right analog stick around to target different parts of the titan's body that you can zip towards and then hack. Going for the ape will kill the Titan, much like the show, but there are certain Titans that will not allow you to do so straight away. You also get items that can make this much easier, such as flash bombs. This kind of mixes up the fighting a little bit. You'll often see green smoke appear on the map. These are side quests that you can take on that involve killing Titans in and around the area, killing a certain amount of enemies, or escorting NPCs. Doing these will not only increase your score, they will also greatly fill your decisive battle signal. The decisive battle signal meter will create one of the most exciting moments of the game, where your character will strike a cool pose before calling in allies to assist you. You'll also get a significant boost in power and will gain more health, gas, and blade durability. Zipping around in your omnidirectional maneuver gear is one of the most fun experiences of this year. Much like in Spider-Man 2, a lot of the fun comes from the movement in this game. However, having to change your blades and refill your gas can be a bit of a momentum killer, although you can change these things while mounted on a horse while still being able to move. In fact, some of the characters have the ability to change their blades mid-flight while using the old ones as a projectile weapon. These abilities get unlocked as you play the game and level up your character. Speaking of abilities, you're able to play as Eren as a Titan, and this is incredibly cathartic. While the combat is incredibly simple in this mode, nothing beats smashing down these hulking enemies that at one point took precision, now just take a Titan fist to the face. So in conclusion, would I recommend this game? If you're a fan of the series, absolutely. This does a great job emulating the action of the series and even does a decent job retelling the story. If you're not a fan though, however, I would maybe look into it, as it goes into enough detail where you get the idea of what's going on. And the game takes 20 hours to beat, so there is quite a lot to enjoy. After you beat the main story, there is an epilogue chapter. This chapter contains minor spoilers, so watch out if you've only watched the anime.
"決して負けない。